Yeah. There's two things I learned from Jake Epstein. Well, I learned a lot, but there's two things that always stick out in my mind. Number one, don't suck. That's one of his main sayings. Don't suck. I'm sure he's taking that with him to the University of South Carolina. And number two, watch the game. Too important now. Don't suck. Watch the game. I think those two are intertwined too, by the way.
I would agree with that. Yeah. You can get a whole lot from just watching what other people are doing.
Yeah. How scouting reports were back then, of course, and talking about a decade ago, with the way scouting reports were set up for you back then, of course, you mentioned you had DVDs as well. And obviously times have changed, especially with the high-end programs. They're going to have different type scouting reports that separate them from other programs. But what did you like to see in a scouting report that made it very easy to understand and get a picture in your head? Because that's the point of a scouting report. That's why scouts do what they do. They're supposed to paint a picture with their words and their evaluations. I was talking, of course, professional baseball, but what did you want to see in a scouting report? How did you want it sort of lined up for you to gather in all that information?
So interestingly enough, I don't think we actually got a piece of paper that said, here's the report. And I think the main reason they did that is because if technology was a little more abundant, and I think if everyone had a smartphone, I think it would just be delivered to us on our smartphone. I think they were really nervous about someone losing that piece of paper and it being found. So it was something that was always discussed. It was like a 30 to 40 minute conversation going into your week. You had an idea of the pitchers we were facing. It was like, hey, we're probably we're facing a plus 65, 70 mile an hour pitcher, like just a little bit of a profile. What's her speed like? Where does she like to, who else is she like? Hey, remember that girl we faced from Georgia earlier in the year? This is a very similar pitcher. What is our plan going to be? We're going to be up in the box a little bit, and we're going to be working on attacking the rise ball before it gets up, because she's throwing it for strikes, right? So that's like our moderate plan. And then that whole week, when you're hitting off the cages, when you're, everything that we did was with a purpose, with who we were prepping for that weekend, the 3 pitchers that they had, let's say. So the pitching machine was set up to be mimicking that. We would face either our scout throwers. So like we had managers or the pitching coach who would throw live to us, who would try to mimic what that pitcher threw. And then going right into the weekend, it was one more meeting that was about 30 minutes. That was like, okay, let's review this, make sure like we feel really confident and comfortable with what our plan and what our approach is going to be. If the pitcher decides to adjust, then this is what our adjustment is going to be. So you're kind of going into the weeds of like what a chess match might be like. If they move this way, we move back that way. So that was how our scanner reports, I guess, would be. And it was really just a full blown preparation. But as far as receiving an actual piece of paper, I think that was very limited because they were just nervous of people losing it.